cold. Can you give me a lore check as well now?
What's a lore check? Straight intelligence, maybe?
No, it's
Arcana.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. That'll do. Okay, so you have these cold feelings start like shaking up across the back of your neck a little bit, but then you're able to just kind of like shake them off, and nothing really happens. You know, pondering your memories, you think to yourself like, this, you've heard stories when you were on the water and on the waves of creatures that probe minds, but you're not really sure about it. Like you kind of like, that felt strange, and then it just kind of like goes away in your mind. Like you don't fully acknowledge or understand what's going on.
After having had those thoughts in my head and just a little bit of time, is it possible for me to use Divine Sense?
What is Divine Sense gonna do?
Basically, it allows me to detect powerful, specific types of beings, celestial, fiend, or undead, that are around me. Costs an action?
Yes, you can certainly do it if you like.
Okay, so... So for a few seconds, I can detect I know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of me.
Okay.
So it's not a very great range, but you can tell if there's any of those within 60 feet, I would know their location. Just let me know.
Yep. You check, and your Divine Sense does not detect anything.
Okay, so I've expended one use.
Alright, then snapping back from that feeling, I'm going to venture further onwards.
Alright, give me a are you just walking forward?
Yeah, I'm just going to walk like here, just going to keep going up.
Alright, give me 1 sec.
There's a doorway to our left, it looks like, over here too.
Yeah, there's a passage to the left, it looks like.
+3 for the modifier, so we're going to roll a stealth check for our evil creature that's hiding. Alright. So as you move forward, you don't notice anything. You just walk forward, and I'll start revealing some areas. I actually was... Oh, I remember. 1 sec. No, maybe not. I need some kind of... Alright, anyway. So as you move past, you see a hallway off to your left. And you come behind the pillar, and you just see an empty, a large pillar, stone pillar, holding up the area. And then you see some empty rocks, and you see... Check your vision.
Can we also see that other doorway to the right, or no? Like, would we have seen that when we came in?
Yeah, when you're moving in, you're standing right there, so you're gonna see this is basically a corridor to your left, and it's a stone corridor, well lit, and then your right corridor leads into another stone wall, and then kind of turns downward, turns south. And then you have more of the stone wall up here. And then you see another kind of shadowy entrance to your left up there, and then more rock walls as we approach in. And this is all pretty well lit. It doesn't seem like anything is keeping the keeping anything. It's well lit. It's well illuminated. No, the
voices or anything?
Nothic is actually hiding down in the crevasse right now and creeping around them. Do you hear voices? Is that what
Yeah,
you
I'm just
asked?
wondering. Yeah, there's no voices or any kind of noise of like people or anything going on like that.
Not currently where you're at that you can hear.
Okay.
It's actually pretty quiet in this chamber, but the chamber is really big, so it's kind of hard. You are hearing like the echoing of like water and just like the musty and mugginess, but there's no people talking that you can hear from where you are.
So, what's the play here, gentlemen? Are we pretending that we are Redbrands? I don't see it. It's odd that there's nobody at the entrance and there's nobody right inside here. Do you think there's any
I
Redbrands
forgot
left?
to,
What's the
grab
situation?
this image, which I'm gonna do right
I
now.
think we should stick with the idea that we're, red brands or even wannabe red brands. Let's kind of get a scope of this initial area so we have our bearings, and then we can determine which path may be best to follow. But let's just kind of briefly
That's the great
scout
thing
out the
about
area we're in
Roll20
and
is I
see
can grab a
see what
quick
we see
image and
before we
pull it
start
in,
heading off on any
and,
side
that
tunnels
can
or
actually be my
things of that
token.
nature.
All right. Well, I'm gonna follow your lead then.
All right.
Can I look for tracks or anything like that?
Just like to point out also that the whole while I'm definitely trying to listen intently, look for odd, look for footprints, look for anything that stands out, signs of, human activity, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know.
So 1 second as you're all moving around. What did you want to do something too, Ridden? What did you want to do? Or trade? Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna look for footprints or tracks or anything.
So you're just gonna you're basically gonna search, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, survival. Looking for footprints and all that.
Sure. So you have a survival.
Yeah, I'd like to do that too.
Yes.
All right, give me one of those. And Sildar comes walking up behind. Give me 1 second, and okay.
Yeah, you did.
So none of you notice anything. You don't. You see normal okay. So in your trading and your searching, you notice, and Rialdan, you also notice there are dragging marks across the ground that look as if people were yeah, seriously. Well, their old group didn't do that and rushed ahead and got their asses kicked. So some of these guys are being super cautious because they know what's going to come. You see tracks as if bodies were being drugged, and then across the ground, and then they lead up to the edge of the ravine, and then they end as if leading directly into the ravine.
Then I'd like to go and check to see if I could see into the ravine.
What's your vision sight?
Normal, so 30 feet, I think.
30 feet?
I think, yeah, whatever normal,
Yeah, I think
humans
you're
are.
right, normal. Go ahead.
I'm peering into the chasm too. I got 60 feet dark vision.
So you peer into the chasm, Traden, and you don't see anything down there. It is pitch black at the bottom of the chasm. So as you peer down into it, there's not much light, but you can definitely, as you lean over and look in, as the smell of just rotting and decaying flesh is very strong, and just kind of breathes up into your face as you stick your head down into it closer to look. With dark vision, you can see better. So you can see you can certainly make out some rotting corpses, some half-eaten bodies, and some it looks like there's some bones scattered all over the floor, and some some rotting flesh scattered all over the floor. It's not perfectly clear to you. I'm trying to see exactly how far you can see clearly with dark vision and pure darkness. But yeah, so basically, I mean, you also smell the smell of rotting flesh, and you know, you can clearly see some devoured bodies down there.
Well, I found the source of the smell.
What is it?
Well, I don't think you want to know, but who keeps their place of business like
Screw
this? I
up
mean,
any
if this is
plan
where
you
their
make.
operation is, they have rotting corpses in this chasm here. That's really strange.
These guys have actually been pretty good about it.
I think there might be more afoot than we're led to believe. I don't know if this is just a bandit operation.
So while you guys are exploring that, give me 1 second. Oh fuck. So what I'm doing right now is the Nothic is going to has been creeping around behind them, and he's taking a rotting gaze blast at Sildar, and so poor old Sildar just took 14 damage. Okay, so as you guys are going over and kind of like peering down into the crevasse and Trade, and I'm going to move you a little closer to the actual crevasse to dictate where you're peering over. All of a sudden, Sildar from behind drops to his knees, and he's, "Oh God, what is that?" And he just starts like feeling this horrible vomitous reaction where he just is like just almost like drops to his knees and just starts vomiting and just, oh God, and feels like he's like his insides are being inverted.
Well, it does smell bad.
I turn to him immediately and do some kind of a health check on him, even though I'm not really trained in medicine.
Sure. As he drops to the ground, you can see that he's clearly been like struck by something, and he's like rotting almost, like his guts he's just complaining about his insides feel like they're turning inside out, and he kind of points over like towards the right, and I'm gonna move you down like to right about here to
Yeah.
And then if you can give me what's your he's going to point in a direction like, I think it came from there. Can you give me a perception check, like not a passive, just like you're looking?
Are you saying he physically got hit by something?
He got physically hit by something.
There, 13. My vision would be the circles.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. It's well, I don't want to say what it's doing, but
I have a 16 passive perception, if that matters.
it matters, but you're not catching it.
All right.
You haven't caught it yet, anyway.
Do I see anything?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, because now you're actively searching.
You're like pea shooter.
It's, D20. Nope. He says he feels like it came from the crevasse. So Sildar is pointing towards the crevasse and saying that he feels like it came from down towards this, like in this direction over here. And he doesn't know what the hell it was.
Alright, so I'm gonna drop the torch on the ground, put my arms around him, and kind of help him towards the rest of the party to lean him on the wall.